Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Mayor and Council meeting of Monday, May the 4th, 2026. The time is 6 o'clock. A quorum is present. Council members are present in here. At this time, I would like to invite City Administrator Andrew Parker to lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Council members, you have before you an agenda. I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a motion. I have a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, at this time, we have public commentary. I have 3 cards, and if anyone else wishes to speak, if they'll do so now to get a card from the back of the room, they're back there. If anybody needs to get one. We usually have a couple of cards. We have an average amount tonight. So comments need to be limited to 3 minutes. I'm not going to stop you in the middle of a sentence or anything, but want you to complete your thought, but we'll limit those to 3 minutes. Ms. Gordy, have your card? And if you would, please, ma'am, hit the button when you, for the green light to come on, please.
Hi, my name is Andrea, and I'm here because Alex's license is up for review. So I saw bits and pieces from the public safety meeting, and I think it didn't do it justice. It showed a very much a bar nightlife, club atmosphere, and what I want to use my 3 minutes to do is to tell you what I've done there. So in 2023, I started doing networking events for businesses because I've been a commercial realtor for 18 years, and not everybody can afford to join a chamber or a Rotary Club. They don't have it in their budget. So as I would sell businesses or rent out places to people, I saw a need. And Alex has always let me use his facility once a month. In 2023, the first one was 5 people came. Now we have 1,500 members from Chattanooga to here, and we meet once a month at Deja Vu. Every event is fully catered. We probably have 50 to 100 people per event, but every event is catered. There's full pictures of that on my social media, on 706 Business Network social media. Every event's catered. Not only that, something else that wasn't shown was we do Rock the Vote events there. There's 2 of you sitting up there now that have been to those events at Alex's facilities. They always have food. They're always catered, and they're catered by Alex. We don't bring in outside food. And then another thing that we also do that we've just started, it's more new, there's only been 2 of those done so far, is we do movie nights there. And again, they're catered, and you can see the food in pictures and everything else. So I don't think it's fair to just say, oh, he's a nightclub, because he's not. What he does at night is what he does at night. But it is very much a social club, no different than a country club or another club. It is a social club where we have hosted civic engagement events, we have hosted networking events, and we have hosted movie night events, all of which are free to the public. We wouldn't be able to do them for free if Alex didn't donate the space. I do cover the cost of food, but he donates the space for free. So I just think it was unfair when I watched the public safety meeting because it didn't show the full picture of what all goes on there. And if anybody wants reference to that, there's pictures of that on my social media, but that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Ms. Gordy.
You're welcome.
All right. Alex Patal, Mr. Patal.
Vital here. Want to take my 3 minutes to kind of expose as much as I can the injustice the city of Dalton has do against me, my business, and my family. I'm going to try to do the 3 minutes. It may take me a little longer. Everything started in June 2024. The Gallon Goat Grape business. They were outed by Caleb Carnes, auditor of the city of Dalton. They failed. The Gallon Goat failed to reach the 50% sales of food. The Gallon Goat wasn't known as a restaurant. It was known as a lounge, as a bar, nothing but not a restaurant. June 2024, right? Then, same year, Rosa Negra nightclub and Taboo Lounge, my businesses. September 2024, we were accused of false information because we're not operating as a restaurant. Rosa Negra was outed and we failed the 50% food sales. Taboo Lounge was never outed. However, the city of Dalton decided to force us to surrender licenses for Taboo Lounge and Rosa Negra nightclub. My attorney and the city attorney reached an agreement if I surrender my licenses on 2024, once 2025 become, and that was previously mentioned by the city administrator to me. Once the new ordinance come in 2025, I should be able to reapply as a bar and I don't need to sell any more food. I should be fine. However, there was an amendment on the ordinance that disqualified any licensee that surrendered his license previously. And guess who was the only person in the history of Dalton, Georgia that has surrendered a license? Alex Vital. That amendment was not the discussion on the options for the city to amend ordinance. It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was the certificate of liability. It was the new definition of a bar. It was check the IDs violation, which it was denied, and some other that are missing. But there was never, ever an amendment that should disqualify a licensee that surrendered his liquor license, disqualify that licensee for 3 years. It seems to me that the city attorney set me up to surrender the license, and once 2025 becomes, I will be disqualified. And that's exactly what happened. On the other hand, the Gallon Goat was never accused of false information. They didn't reach the 50% sales, and they were audited by Caleb Carnes, which I know very well because he was my landlord. He was the city auditor. So the discrimination, the difference between the Gallon Goat and Taboo Lounge and Rosa Negra are not the same because we were accused of false information. Gallon Goat was never accused of false information. Instead, a new amendment becomes next year, a new definition of a bar. You don't need to sell food at all and you'll be fine. That helps the Gallon Goat. Absolutely, yes. That would have helped me. But the city of Dalton disqualified me because they amend the ordinance so I be disqualified from it. 2025 March 2025. That was when my hearing for the Public Safety Commission was for Deja Vu Social Club, which it was my business. That same hearing, I was denied because what I just explained to you guys. Nikki Lama applied for liquor licenses for Nikki G, a business that he was going to open. Back then, Nikki Lama was the city council. When you fill up your application, your liquor license application, on the checklist, it clearly says the application has to be completed. Any incomplete application will be not accepted. However, the city council member, Nikki Lama, was able to submit an application without a food permit, without a certificate of liability. a new ordinance that you guys amend. Same amendment you make when you surrender your license and you don't qualify. However, Nikki Lama, City Council, was able to put his application in. Who accepted that application? City Clerk, Bernadette Shetman, Administrator Andrew Parker, City Council, Safety Commission, Mayor, City Attorney, check every single application before be submitted to the hearing of Safety Commission. So who accepted that application from the City Council without the certificate of liability and without the food permit? Later that month, my mother decided to buy a business and open a bar. And we sent the application with the assistance of a lawyer. She tried to submit the application, and we didn't have their certificate of liability. And we confirmed. Jesse didn't take the application because it was incompleted. So what's the difference between a city council and any other citizen in Dalton? That's questionable. Is that injustice? Because she's my mother?
Mr. Vital, I just want to mention the time if you would, please, sir.
Yes, I think that should be enough because Deja Vu, it's coming next. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Vital. All right. One more comment card, Freedom United News.
Hi, Robert with Freedom United News. We have a very big problem in the municipalities of Whitfield County and Dalton. Both of our sheriff's department and the Dalton Police Department have been corrupt for a very long time, and the citizens are getting tired of it. They're boasting out fake tickets for any reason that they can, for no reason at all. Not to mention the sheriff, Darren Pierce, I guess it is now, has a jail that is completely filled with mold. The beds are falling off the walls. The water doesn't work in multiple of the showers. I've talked to about 15 people that has come in and out of there, and myself included, because I was stopped unlawfully by the DPD. Now, with that being said, I'm pretty sure we have a good budget for body cams on both sides, as well as them to keep up our jail, which is his job, and that's what he's supposed to do. I've brought this to his attention multiple times, and it has been ignored. They've looked it over, they've done everything that they can, and yet there's nothing wrong with the jail. So they say. But the foundation is coming apart every time it rains, the place floods. And then you have cops from the DPD that are always hiding, running red lights, running stop signs, doing excessive speeds without emergency lights on. Now, I'd like to point another one towards the public works of the county and of the city. The city wanted to charge me $22,000 for a public records request. $22,000. Who in this room has $20,000? Not many, except maybe you guys, probably a couple of them. I did the same thing with the county. County wanted over $3,000 for the one I animated for them, and it's only for the paving departments because our roads haven't been paved in a long time. If you go around the bypass, you literally have to have an ATV to get through there. If you don't, well, your vehicle's basically destroyed. We, as people of the community, do not have the funds to continue to fix our cars. You can barely see the lines on the road at all. So every time you roll around Dalton, no matter where you're at, you're hitting potholes, repave, nothing. Patches, that's all we're getting. And I'd like to know where the money's going. So if you could find out why my open records requests are getting like this, so that way I can get to the information to find out why they're not paving our roads or fixing anything, that would be great. That's all I need.
Thank you, sir. All right. Seeing no one else come forward, no other comment cards, we will close open comment. Next item is proclamations. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. If you'll for the record, if you'll just say your name, for the record. In 3 minutes, please, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Maria Salaisis. I work for Attorney Jim Meany here in Dalton, Georgia. And I just wanted to let you know, just to cooperate with Mr. Vitalis said, I was the one that actually came to help him apply for that license, and I was rejected by Jesse because we didn't have that liability certificate. And then I had to get the liability certificate, then come back to get it filed. If not, it was going to be denied. So I just wanted to make sure that there was someone to cooperate what he said. I am that witness. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. All right, proclamations. Margaret from the CVB was here earlier, and there she is. I'll let you move seats. Okay. Margaret, just like to say thank you for everything that you do, and we recognize that this is National Travel and Tourism Week, and we're excited for all the folks that you bring to town through ball tournaments and all sorts of other activities. And I believe also we have this Wednesday, we have an event with disc golf, and so would encourage people to check out the visit daltonga.com website, and they can have an opportunity to come and play. It starts at 4:30 on May the 6th at 305 South Depot Street. So thank you for everything that you and your team do. We appreciate it. All right, next is any staff reports?
There are none this evening, Madam Mayor.
All right, moving on to minutes. Item number 3, council members, you have before you minutes of the mayor and council work session of April the 15th, 2026. I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Item number 4, mayor and council minutes of the meeting of April 20th, 2026. I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
A motion,
Second.
a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item number 5, mayor and council special called work session minutes of April the 21st, 2026. I will entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Item number 6 under new business, review of Public Safety Commission hearing decision regarding Deja Vu Club LLC. City Attorney?
Good evening, Mayor and council members. We are here on a review of the decision of the Public Safety Commission. As you all know, there was a hearing that occurred on April 21st. The charge against Deja Vu was providing false information in violation of Code Section 6142. That false information was on the application that changed the designation from a bar to a restaurant, and then on the renewal application, which affirmed that same information. As you all know, the code provides that a restaurant is a place to be kept, used, maintained, and advertised and held out to the public as a place where meals are served and where meals are actually and regularly prepared and served. It seats a minimum of 40 people. It has a full-service kitchen, which consists of a minimum of certain things, including permanently installed fixtures. A restaurant serves meals every hour that it is open, and the serving of meals shall be the principal business conducted. The licensee must also derive 50% of the total annual gross sales from the sales of prepared meals or food. And so the gist of the hearing was that Deja Vu did not meet those requirements. Deja Vu also had its owner, Maria Esquivel, as the person who applied, and the city argued that that was not the correct owner as well. And so that information went through the hearing process, and 25 exhibits were admitted. There were 4 videos shown. There were 6 witnesses that were called, including a certified public accountant who testified that she did an audit. As you all know, the audit procedure requires that a business maintain certain business records and that it keep them in the ordinary course of business, and that 50% food sales requirement be proved through those business records. At the end of the hearing, the Public Safety Commission found that Deja Vu was in willful violation of 6142 for false information on those applications. It recommended that the license be revoked and that the cost of the audit and the cost of the court reporter be assessed against Deja Vu. Now, your job tonight is pursuant to Section 6234. That code section requires that the mayor and council perform an on-record review of the hearing record before the Public Safety Commission. And so you all have had an opportunity to review all of those exhibits, the testimony, the videos, and the other information that I've mentioned. This is not a time for additional evidence to be presented or argument. It is simply a time for you all to determine if there was sufficient evidence. And if there is sufficient evidence to support the recommendation, the code section says that upon a finding by the mayor and council that sufficient evidence exists to support the recommendation of the PSC, the mayor and council shall revoke the license of the licensee for 60 months. And so that's the code section, and that would be the motion that would be entertained.
Point of inquiry is, would that mean that the owner would be able to then still operate as a bar? They would just lose their license as a restaurant? Would that be the end result?
No, Councilmember Farrow, the alcohol license would be revoked. And if an alcohol license is revoked, they are not eligible to reapply. They could continue to be a restaurant in the sense that they sell food. So that could continue. They just wouldn't be able to sell alcohol.
Councilmembers, there are other questions or comments for city attorney? All right, I will entertain a motion.
I move we support the recommendation of Public Safety Commission.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any discussion?
I would like to add a comment. I believe the city council, the city staff, police department, the auditor, everybody bent over backwards to give Mr. Vitale or whoever great leeway in this, and he just didn't live up to the standards that we put out there. We redid our code to make it easier for restaurants. We've done everything on our part, and I feel like he did not do his part. So,
Madam Mayor, my take on reading the transcript and all the evidence, there just wasn't sufficient evidence. And there was ample opportunity, for the owner to when the audit was done, but there wasn't any backup documentation, as one would certainly expect a restaurant to have. I think there was some kind of summary document that was tendered, but certainly not any of the backup information that one would expect when audited for something like this. So, yeah.
and I would like to thank our staff and code enforcement, police department, and the auditor for all the hard work they put into this. And it's a shame we had to spend this much money on this kind of an incident. And thank our city attorney for all the efforts he's put in this too.
Is there any further discussion? If not, I have a first and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Item number 7, Resolution 26-14, adopting application of Kinetic to ABS Georgia LLC to construct and maintain certain telecommunication lines and facilities.
Mayor and council members, in mid-April, the city was notified that Unity Group was transferring certain assets, customer contracts, and arrangements of one of its indirect subsidiaries, Windstream, to Windstream's affiliate called Kinetic. Many of you know that both of those companies are well known in town. As part of this transfer, Windstream's assets will, within the city of Dalton's right-of-way, will transfer to Kinetic on or about June 30th, 2026. So they're essentially doing some reorganization. Kinetic, under the statute, will be responsible for paying due compensation payment to the city pursuant to the OCGA 46-5-1A1 for assets within the city's right-of-way. Kinetic will then become the service provider and party responsible for managing and maintaining all the various rights necessary for the continued provision of service to the customers in the city of Dalton. So what this resolution does, the city attorney and I have reviewed the application. The statutory language is pretty specific about what they have to submit to make their notification of transfer of assets. They met all those requirements. Resolution 26-14 finds, if approved, that the application meets the statutory requirements and adopts the application. It also, again, requires that they make due compensation to be paid based on their facilities within the public right-of-way. And it also acknowledges Kinetic's affirmation that it will comply with local laws and regulation about operating their facilities within the right-of-way. We've communicated with them that they need to go through the Public Works Department to obtain any necessary permits to perform work within the right-of-way. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
So are they the ones that's have all the boxes that's hanging on the poles that's been there for almost a year now? Is it them that's?
Most of the time it has been Windstream assets, and we have been trying to communicate with some of their, as part of this reorganization, they've introduced us to some new staff contacts and at administration level, some of the state officials with the company, and we're making them aware of any concerns we have.
Okay.
All right, are there any further comments or questions on this item? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item number 8, storm drainage easement, First United Methodist Church of Dalton. Chad?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This request is to execute a storm drainage easement with the First United Methodist Church of Dalton. The easement is needed, allowing us to tie into an existing storm drain line on the church's property and divert water into the ongoing Temple Bethel stormwater project. This has been reviewed by the city attorney and comes with a positive recommendation from the Public Works Committee. With that, I'll take any questions.
All right, are there questions or comments on this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion, I have a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. All right, item number 9, amendment to tax commissioner agreement.
Mayor and council members, as you may recall, prior to 1996, the city collected its own property ad valorem taxes. In October, on or around October 1st, 1996, the city council at that time entered into an agreement with the tax commissioner for the provision of tax collection services pursuant to the state law referenced on the slide there. And the italicized language is the relevant code section. The compensation for services rendered has been modified from time to time since 1996. And we had the city attorney review the contract, and there was a desire to update the compensation to the current rate of $3,750 a month for municipal tax collection, and that includes the Dalton Public School System as well. So this amendment is to strike paragraph 2 of the agreement from 1996 and replace it with the revised terms that I've just went over.
All right, questions or comments on this item? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item number 10, review of 4 new 2026 alcohol beverage applications. Jesse?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Before you, for your consideration, we have 4 new alcohol applications. The first one being for a restaurant. Business owner is going to be CJ Pizza 2 LLC, doing business as Bocelli Pizza. The applicant's name is Justin Thompson. The physical address will be 825 Chattanooga Avenue, Suite 1 and 2. The type of licenses being applied for are pouring beer, wine, and retail delivery, and it comes with a positive recommendation by the Public Safety Commission.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do we allow beer and wine delivery along with, food delivery?
We do, yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
We're required for the applicant to show us either certification that they've done the training from the Department of Revenue, or if they're contracting a third party to give us a certificate that they passed the courses required.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion. I have a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you.
Thank you. The next one's going to be for a retail store / gas station. The business owner is going to be Glenwood Rapids Incorporated, doing business as Rapids. The applicant's name is Asif Ali. The location address will be 1016 North Glenwood Avenue. They're applying for a packaged beer and wine license, and it also comes with a positive recommendation by the Public Safety Commission.
All right. Any comments or questions on this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move we approve.
The motion, have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. The third one is going to be Glenwood 324 Incorporated, doing business as Corner Express number 2. The applicant is also Asif Ali. The physical address will be 324 North Glenwood Avenue. They're applying for a packaged beer and wine license. It's also for a retail store or gas station. It comes with a positive recommendation.
Questions or comments on this item?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you. The last one's going to be business owner Glenwood 2025 Incorporated, doing business as Smiles Fuel. The applicant's name is Courtney Velasquez. Physical address will be 400 North Glenwood Avenue. Type of license being applied for is packaged beer and wine, also for a retail store / gas station. And he comes with a positive recommendation by the Public Safety Commission.
All right, questions or comments on this item? If not, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any discussion? Not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, very much. Item number 11, it's the first reading, so there will be no action taken on this item tonight. First reading ordinance 26-06 to hear the request of Enrique Mendez Gomez to rezone from heavy manufacturing M2 to medium density single family residential R3, a tract of land totaling 0.6 acres located on Dogwood Drive, parcel 12-216-01-008.
Madam Mayor and Council, I'm not sure if the planning staff had a conflict, but if the council's okay with it, since this is just a first reading, I'll go over the request. This was reviewed at a planning commission meeting, and it's a fairly straightforward request, and it's sort of a remnant of the old pyramid zoning scheme. But as you say, the request is to rezone from heavy manufacturing to medium density single family residential R3. As you can see on the drawing provided from the staff, the purple is M2, and the dark green and the medium color green is R2 and R3. So you can see that most of the property that's adjacent to this area is already residential. And the petitioner stated in the Planning Commission hearing that it's their desire to build a dwelling on this lot. And as you may recall, a lot of times banks will not loan. I'm not sure if that's the circumstance with this, but a lot of times mortgagors will not loan money if the zoning's not appropriate to today's standards. So I suspect that's why the request has been made to rezone to R3. During the Planning Commission meeting, the staff provided a positive recommendation citing 3 different reasons why it was favorable to rezone to R3. And the Planning Commission, they did inquire about the site's topography with regards to the grade change on the lot, but the petitioner's representative said that they had a suitable plan to make it ready for development for a dwelling. And after that discussion, the Planning Commission approved it unanimously 4-0. So both the staff and planning commission gave positive recommendations for approval, and we'll try to make sure that a member of the planning staff's here when it's taken up for second reading.
All right, we're taking no action this evening, but are there comments or questions on this item? Okay. There is no other business before this council, and there are no announcements other than what I shared about the downtown's Taste of the Course. Encourage you to go to visit daltonga.com. Also, Civitan Festival is this weekend, so there's lots of fun things always to do in Dalton, so that's coming up, so check that out. This time I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.